What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Fast Nigellin bringing you another Company of Heroes 2 replay. Again, this is a Coldcast straight off the live games list, the 1v1 Automatch. And the map we are watching here today is Angeville. Introducing our players here in the bottom, we have Kaplan as the mighty US forces. Love the US forces. And in the top we have Stormtroop. I think that's the Wehrmacht. Yeah. And yeah, here we go. So as I was trying to say in my last video, just fumbling over my words like an idiot. If somebody could let me know with these, watching the live games, obviously they're delayed. So once the match ends in real time for them, does it cut the feed for me? If you could just let me know. Because otherwise I'm just missing half of the game. I mean, most of the games that I've casted so far are really one-sided, so it was kind of obvious who was winning. As we see Kaplan here with his rear echelon, going ahead and building a fuel cache right away. Don't know that. I mean, who knows? That could be good in the end. But typically I wait. I'm a horrible player, by the way, but I wait until a little later into the mid game before I start worrying about fuel caches. But you know what? This guy probably knows more than I do. In fact, I can guarantee he knows more than I do as he brings these rear echelon troops up the left side, going for the ammo point. As we look at what Stormtroop is doing, he's just going straight for those control points, looking to put a dent in the ticket ticker. I guess that's what this is called, the victory points. As we see some initial contact here with the Pioneer Squad, using those SMGs. If you ever want to do more damage, you probably want to get in close, but again, this is a lopsided matchup. He really just needs to get the hell out of there. Of course, he wants to get that point, but it's better to save your troops there and come back to fight a different day. Obviously, he's outnumbered. Vastly outnumbered on the left-hand side here, and Kaplan's just going to go ahead and follow up with that contact with a cap of the fuel point. Here on the right side we have a mirror matchup with the Rifleman and Pioneer Squad, and he's escaping or falling back, and he really just needs to get out of there. There's no way he can win that fight, no matter how deep he is in the bushes.
We have a fresh Grenadier squad.
Stormtroop getting out those Grenadier squads. Just taking a look at his bulletins, he's got the just sort of a mixed bag. Looking at Kaplan's bulletins, again, just a mixed bag. Obviously, all kind of benefiting his riflemen, so I guess that's great. And here we have a nice counterattack here by Stormtroop. Just going to call him Storm from now on, much easier. Bringing out that MG42. Kaplan getting into that little shack there, hoping that the wood covers him. And following up on a sort of flanking maneuver with his riflemen. Great tactics shown by Kaplan already. Love the use of that medium cover as he flanks to the left-hand side of the engineers. Stormtroop bringing those Grenadiers in for support. Well, I guess that's a fairly decent point. He probably wants to get in that building there, just to ensure that he's got maximum defense.
The enemy is taking our territory. We have lost the squad.
Kaplan getting a little aggressive here, looking to take that point as he's attacking. I just had some chicken strips, so I'm burping a lot. So I do apologize.
We have a mortar team available for deployment.
Kaplan getting those riflemen vetted up. Always nice to see. Getting that grenade off as well. He's gonna want to start thinking about possibly pulling back, saving those vetted riflemen to fight another day. For those of you who are beginners, which I'm pretty sure most of you would be, because I doubt a good player would even listen to my idiotic strategies. You really want to save those troops the moment you see that they're going to get into a battle like this one that they're not going to win. You really want to retreat them. Unfortunately, he lost his vetted squad there, getting off a grenade, but that wasn't worth it at all. You want to save those troops, get them healed up and reinforced, and send them in again. That way they retain their veterancy, and along with that they retain the upgrades that they get with that increase in veterancy. So as you can see on the mini-map here, we have a pretty even spread out here. Obviously Kaplan has the majority of the control points, which is great on his part. We see Stormtroop getting that mortar out, kind of just sitting there next to the barbed wire, just kind of looking, surveying the land, just making sure everything's alright, inspecting the barbed wire, making sure there's no holes. He's really going to want to get those guys out into the fight, but I guess he is waiting for support, which is a good idea. You never want to send those guys out on their own. Here on the right hand side we have Kaplan moving in with his 2 riflemen and 1 lieutenant, obviously outnumbering and killing that engineer squad. It looked like they had flamethrowers, so that's a good exchange. Oh, I didn't notice this. A decent, actually very good placement of the bunker here. Obviously suppressing that whole squad. And oh, there he is, escaping with his 1 vet rifleman to the left-hand side. At this point, he really just needs to, retreat. And good job getting those the lieutenant squad out of the kill zone, so he can begin capping that point. Here we go, catching those mortars off guard, but at the same time completely surrounded. I'm pretty sure he can see the death that surrounds him. He really needs to retreat as he's doing now. Probably didn't need to lose that that guy that was just killed, but I believe he just got a 2nd star, so all in all, not a bad trade there.
Contact! Infantry! Suppress them sons of bitches!
Now I forgot to mention, but this map, I just love the design of this map. It's fun to look at. You got the green, lush fields, the wonderful bushes,
A capture point is being overrun.
the wonderful variety of shrubberies. It's one of the complaints I had about the Russian map packs, is the trees were all brown, the grass was brown, the buildings are brown.
Grab your shit and follow me.
It really just wasn't good to look at, you know? If I wanted to look at a lot of brown stuff, I would have, oh, I don't know. I have no idea. Fill in whatever I was gonna say there with your sick minds. Anyways, here we have kind of a lull in the battle. Kaplan's got his ambulance out. He's gonna want to kind of get that up into the battlefield. That is when he gets his major. I kept calling him Colonel in the first cast that I made there. But it is indeed a major.
They're cooked! Remember, for every second between the crack and the thumb, shooter's about 100 yards away. Yeah?
We got some Panzer Grenadiers here out on the field, taking that control point there.
Territory taken. Push on.
So again, looking at the mini-map, we're fairly evened out, fairly straight battle line. But again, Kaplan having an advantage in control points.
Our lines of supply are disrupted.
Looks like Storm's got his scout car
We
out.
are suffering losses.
Is that called a scout car? SDK.
I can't breathe! I can't breathe!
Here we have Kaplan taking this point, cutting off this control point from his overall map control. Love the cutoff points. I've made a couple maps and they're on the Steam Workshop right now, and I always love adding those cutoff points, giving certain areas more priority. Kaplan really, I know he really wants to capture this point. He's capped the point, now he needs to get the hell out. Alright, I kind of agree with that, so long as he gets him the hell out of there. Damaging that engine is always a good thing.
Taking infantry fire. Main gun damaged.
And obviously, Kaplan just is surprising me with his fervent aggression. I guess you can never go wrong with aggression. Killing that main gun, doing damage with his rifles, and closing in on a bunker, which is the worst thing he could have done. At this point, he really just needs to... Exactly. So at this point, Kaplan's kind of laughing. I mean, he can just hold back as long as he controls these 2 points. Kaplan bringing out his captain squad. With that bazooka, we'll be able to deal with any new scout car that comes out, and this one that's being repaired. Let's see where he's at with his upgrades. He's already at phase 2, which is good. But he's going to want to make use of his phase 2 technology boost. So he's going to want to get out the Stug medium tanks as soon as possible. Because at this point he needs a game changer. He needs to start thinking offensively. He's kind of just sitting around with his troops here. Makes sense because his mortars here, you want some support for that, but he really needs to move up so we can start to put a dent in this line. There is a bit of a bulge here, so he's got a good foothold. He just needs to expand out to the left, as none of that is defended at all. That's one thing that you notice is you seem to see players go straight for the hardest place on the map to attack, just because you think that if you could win that fight you can gain the advantage, which is the case. But at this point he is out, Storm is outnumbered, so he needs to be flowing his troops where there's going to be least resistance. Again, capping this point, he needs to recognize that this is a cutoff point, so capping that isn't doing a whole lot. All he's really doing is notifying Kaplan where he's at and where he's attacking.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
So he really needs to swing swing right and cap this point here to make that connection complete.
They're shooting at us!
And immediately, the scout vehicle here, can't remember what it's called, gets destroyed. by this cluster. Always dangerous to blow up your units like this, but in this case it was fine, it worked. Here we have a major engagement with the bulk of each player's forces, and they're just going to dance. They're going to dance together, a little do-sa-do. Obviously Kaplan getting out on top on that engagement.
Rush those assholes! The enemy has made target losses!
Pulling back, Storm is pulling back to his bunker here, but I believe they're outside of the arc of fire. Excellent, excellent job by Kaplan. And obviously he's got the weapons to deal with this, so he's gonna go ahead and take out that bunker. So I'm liking the placement of this bunker, obviously placing it where there's not a whole lot of flanks, excuse me, to attack from. God, those were good chicken strips. But again, there is quite a lot of flank space to attack, and we saw Kaplan just exploit it there. So here we have a fighting position taking. I didn't notice this. Guarding this left-hand side. Totally agree with that. Obviously, we just saw it pay off. He's got his rear echelon troops in there. Adding, I believe, when they do that, you add the grenade launcher and everything. Also got his 50 cal set up there. And this is kind of like what I was talking about. This is what you like to see, the arc of fire going into the out of bounds, so that he does have to cross here. It's only like a sliver actually, so that's probably not ideal. But again, he's got the rifle grenades in there to take care of any troops on a 360-degree radius. So that's great. We have the autocannon scout car here. Just kind of sitting around, wishing that he was the one who shot down this airplane. Or is it a glider? No, I think that's a bomber airplane. Just kind of sitting there, not doing a whole lot. He really needs to be supporting his troops here. I hear tank, everyone. It is the Stug, or the Stug. So a good choice. Kaplan does have infantry deal with this with the captain. And he's actually got a bazooka with this rifleman squad. So some good fireworks there. Not really doing a whole lot, so kind of a waste of ammo, but so I don't really agree with this, just blitzing his base here. I mean, it is a Stug. He really needs to support it. I mean, which he's doing, but he needs to be capping points, not going straight to the base here. I mean, Kaplan's got all 3 points, and he's going to lose this Stug in no time flat. Of course, Kaplan retreating his troops back to base so he can deal with this in a timely manner. We see a Sherman, Stewart's big brother here.
Have been reduced by 1.
Alright, so I don't know what the heck's going on here. Is it frozen? And looks like the playback is over. So hope you guys enjoyed. Obviously, I'm dealing with some technical issues here. I don't know what the heck's going on. Like I said, let me know in the comments below whether or not the stream ends before it's actually over, because I'm viewing it live and because of the delay. But this was a lopsided match. We could see who the victor would have been. Kaplan obviously taking that map control and reinforcing where he needs. He won the match by outnumbering Storm in every engagement and saving those vetted troops. Of course, we see here Storm with
Ready for action.
one random scout car just kind of moping around. And so that's that. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys on the next cast. Peace out.